in.
Sounds good. Hello, everyone. Welcome. All right. Just give the waiting room a second. Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome to see welcome to everyone. It's nice to see you. Okay. Well, we're going to get started, and then as people join us, we're going to be starting today by doing a bit of a group vocal warm-up. For those of you who don't know, my name is Billy, and I'm going to be the guest presenter today. We've got lots to go over, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and so we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm just going to scroll up to the beginning of my presentation. So we're going to start by just chatting. We're just going to go over a couple of things. We're going to start with what everyone needs to know about singing. So the first and most important thing, and this will be especially important for your performance that's coming up, is that storytelling comes first, right? So we always want to keep in mind that we are storytellers first and singers second, right? The story always comes first. You're an actor first, you're a singer second. The second thing you want to keep in mind is don't sell yourself short. It's not your job to judge your voice, it's the judge's job. So sometimes when we're singing, we get a little bit in our head and we start going, oh, I'm not doing a good job, or we start thinking, oh, I'm doing an amazing job. Has anyone ever done that before, especially the part about thinking you weren't doing a good job, right? It's very easy to go to that place. Your job when you're performing is to focus on telling the story, connecting emotionally with the lyrics. It's not necessarily to stand there going, am I doing a good job or not? The other thing is that some of the greatest singers in the world were not technically great singers, but they are always great storytellers. So who's heard of Amy Winehouse before? Show of hands. Yeah. What about Leonard Cohen? Right? What about Taylor Swift? Right? What about Olivia Rodrigo? What if I told you that none of those singers are technically really great singers? Like what they're doing with their voice isn't amazing, right? It's not supernatural, but everyone loves those singers, right? They're very popular singers for a reason, right? Because they're great storytellers, okay? Couple rules to establish about singing, just so we're all on the same page for today. There's really only one rule about singing, and that's that singing should never hurt, okay? So we don't want anything to hurt through here in our throat, okay? As we work on our posture, our body might feel like it's lifting really tall, or when we stretch our tongue, which you may have done in another exercise or we'll do today, that can feel a little bit uncomfortable on the tongue, but we don't want anything to hurt through here, okay? The other rule, free and easy singing gets more free and easy singing. So the easier things are, the easier things will be. And then we also want to keep in mind that singing is scary for both psychological and physiological reasons, okay? So we're just going to quickly go over what is not a vocal warm-up, because you have a big performance coming up and we want to make sure that our voice is in good vocal health. We don't want to be too intensive because you want to save your voice for the performance. So is there a wrong way to warm up the voice? Yes, right? So if you just jump to singing songs right away, that's not a vocal warm-up, that's fatiguing. Belting the highest notes you can sing, so just singing Defying Gravity or Let It Go, it's probably not a good idea. And by probably, I mean that's not a good idea. Singing ascending scales that immediately take you to the most extreme parts of your range, so just automatically singing high, that's not very wise to warm up your voice. Or using the first few songs in a rehearsal to show and warm up. Or an example would be just not warming up at all and getting up at this major performance and just singing. Or one lip trill going isn't enough to warm up the voice. Same thing, talking throughout the day is not a good way to warm up the voice, right? So what is a vocal warm-up and why do we need to do them? So vocal warm-ups get the vocal folds, our voice, the muscles, stretching and thinning so as we make sound, all right? It's a way to coordinate and wake up the brain-body connection between the breath in our vocal folds and then the vocal folds and the rest of our sound-making system that we call the vocal tract, okay? It helps to release tension in our body for singing, because sometimes who's felt a little bit tense when through their neck or their jaw while they're singing, or it feels kind of squishy through here. We want to get some of those to let go. right? And then it prepares the vocal folds and body for the Olympic demands of singing. It helps prevent a voice injury, and it gets us mentally primed for a peak performance, okay? What else do vocal warm-ups do? They address technical issues in each individual voice. They get the voice ready for the repertoire being sung. They get our voice flexible, work on breath support, help with register coordination, and help prevent pitch problems. Okay, I'm just going to skip over this next slide because we've got a lot to cover today. So what I want everyone to do is we're going to start by I want you to pick the song that you're going to be singing for this performance, the Get Launched performance. And I want you to just sing through, because I know you each singing roughly 1 minute, right? Or those of you who, some people are singing at a different place with their performance. I want you to just sing through your 1 minute song now, just to sort of touch base and see how it's doing. All right, you've got 1 minute on the clock. Standing, singing. I'm just going to adjust the camera so I can see everybody. All right, I'll give that another 10 seconds. All right, and also I'd like everybody to turn their cameras on. That way I can see you while you're singing. And that way, in case any, because later I'm going to be adjusting everyone's posture and things like that, and it's helpful if I can see you all. Good, and then I can be picky. Mahaha. All right, so that's what we're going to call our diagnostics. So I want you to just check in, ask yourself, how did that just feel? Did it feel easy? Did it feel hard? How were your high notes? Did it feel tight anywhere in your body while you were singing? Just checking in and sort of seeing how that felt, okay? What could be better? What was great? Just checking in and seeing how that went. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and do some exercises. So I know that Miss Pilita asked everyone to have a straw, so I want everyone to go to their straw. And if everyone can make sure your cameras are turned on still, just so I can watch. And I'm going to need a volunteer to work with me. So I need someone to raise their hand to volunteer to sing with me first. I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to volunteer Nick, because Nick's always keen to volunteer. Hi, Nick. No? No? Okay, I need a volunteer. Chloe, will you sing? I see you've got your straw there. Hi, Chloe, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Chloe, what we're going to do is and everyone's going to do this with Chloe, we're going to go to our straw. These are what we call semi-occluded vocal tract exercises, okay? So we're going to put our straw in our mouth and we're going to buzz through the straw. This is a nice way to warm up the voice gently. So what we're going to do is we're going to go... Two nice even slides. Let's all do that together. Good. Keep going, Chloe. Good, yeah, and just 2 times is good. And everybody be buzzing along. One more. Awesome. Thanks, Chloe. I'm going to call on somebody else to volunteer to sing. Somebody put up your hand. All right, Brianna. Brianna.
Hi.
All right, Brianna, we're going to do the same exercise but a larger interval now. So we're
Okay.
going to go, and everyone's going to do this along at home. Two big slides. Great. Let's keep going. Good, and everybody sit up nice and tall. We'll talk a little bit about posture in a bit, but remember from our last workshops, posture is very important. Really nice, Brianna. I like how you're sliding up and down. That's really good.
Thank you.
Good. Couple more. And one more. Awesome. Good, Brianna. Thank you so much for volunteering. That was great.
Yeah.
All right, so what I want everyone to do now is we're going to go back to the presentation, right? So a semi-occluded exercise. So in case you don't have your straw for your big performance to warm up backstage, and now if you do have your straw, you can buzz like that. Even if you don't, have scales or something like that memorized, you can just take your straw and just woo, woo. It's really good to do that on the car ride to the performance in about 10 minutes while you're waiting backstage. If you've got a big glass of water, you can even put the straw in the water. That's an even more intense version, which is good. But say you forget your straw, you can do these with a hum, or a lip trill. Those work as well. So now I want everyone to go back to your song, the song that you're going to be singing at the big performance, and I want you to sing your song again and notice the differences after buzzing through the straw. So I'll give everyone 45 seconds. So singing through your song. All right, that's good. I want a couple of people to just raise your hands, and I'm going to just ask how that was different. How was that different? Molly, I'm going to unmute you.
It was different because I felt like it was more resonant and it was more forward.
Yeah, that's cool. And Taki, how was that different for you?
I felt like it was easier for me to sing because, like, the song I'm singing, I have to go high. But yes. So
No, that's great. It definitely is going to help with the high notes. It's a great thing to notice. Thank you, Taki. Brianna.
Whenever I was in like, whenever did my mixed voice or when I belted,
Hmm.
I had more control. It didn't sound as forced.
Yeah, that's great, right? These straw exercises are magical and amazing, right? They help to reduce inflammation on our vocal folds. They get them vibrating symmetrically. They do so many amazing things. You don't need to know any of that. All you need to know is that they're magical and going, it's like a massage for the vocal folds. So do it every time before you perform. It's amazing. Okay, let's keep going with our group vocal warm up. So the next thing we're going to talk about is registration. So we've got our chest register, oh, head register, woo, and then mix, ah, somewhere kind of in the middle. So we're going to go through and we're going to warm up those three things together. So we're going to start by warming up our chest voice. So I need a volunteer who wants to sing low for everybody. There will be lots of chances to volunteer. Robert, did I see you raise your hand? Nope. Okay, Taki. All right, so what we're going to do, and everyone's going to sing along at home because we're warming up together. We're going to do aw as in father, and we'll go aw. Two nice even slides. Nice Taki hand. Sit up nice and tall. Good. Big breath in. Good. Good, Jan. Open your mouth a little more. Good. Now I want you to sit up even taller because we're just a little collapsed like this right now. So everybody sit up taller. There we go. Give that another go. Yeah, and this is going to start feeling really low for everybody. That's okay. That's part of what we're warming up. Good. That's nice. And Taki, we're going to go up and we're going to warm up our head register now. We're going to go up a little bit higher and we're going to go. Two big slides. Good. And everyone's going to sing along and everybody keep checking in with your posture, sitting nice and tall. Posture matters a lot for our high notes. That's good, yeah. Good. And I'm noticing a few people are kind of looking down. Try to sit up and look up nice and tall. That's good. That's good. Really good. Just a couple more like that. Mm-hmm. Really good. One more. Nice. Now we're going to warm up mix in the middle. So we're going to go into the middle of our voice and we're going to go this big smile like this. It's going to feel a little silly. We're going to go my. For mix, it's helpful to think of our Disney voice. Very, very happy and excited sounding.
My.
Good. Really lovely, Taki. And I'm Taki is your name, right?
Well, my
Good. I'm
actual
just
name is Sakura. It's just most people call me Taki.
okay. Would you like me to call you Takira or Taki?
It's okay. You could call me Taki.
Taki, fabulous, good. My. Keep going.
My.
Good, I love seeing everybody's mouths move along. That's so fun. Keep going.
My.
Really good, yeah. Everyone's sitting nice and tall.
My.
Yeah, big full breath in.
My.
Very good.
My.
Yeah, big breath in.
My.
Good, and one more.
My.
Yeah, do that one more time, and I want you to move your mouth even more.
My.
That's good. Thank you so much, Taki, for volunteering. That was great. So now we've warmed up our head voice, we've warmed up our chest voice, and we've warmed up our mixed voice, right? So we're going to go back and we're going to check in with our song. So I want everyone to check in. I'm going to give you another 45 seconds and just sing through your song again and notice what's feeling a little bit different now that we've done that little extra piece of warming up. So checking in, standing nice and tall. Another 10 seconds. All right. I want people to raise their hands and tell me how that felt different. All right, Chloe.
I felt a lot more like I could reach the notes that I couldn't reach before without being warmed up.
That's great. That's a good thing to notice. What else did other people notice? Brinley.
I felt that like my vibrato was a little bit better and stronger than before.
Yeah, that's another thing you'll start noticing as you warm up that your vibrato will get clearer. That's good. What did other people... Oh, Zoom user. Just says Zoom user.
I felt like that my voice felt more free, and I just felt my voice felt more open, and it didn't hurt as much.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. No, that's awesome. Perfect. Well, let's keep going. And what's your name, by the way, just so...
Naomi?
Naomi. I'll try and remember that if I call on you again. That's good. Thank you, Naomi. Awesome. Great. So let's go back to our exercises. So now we're going to talk about posture. So you've seen me and you've heard me talk about posture, but let's go over posture in a really clear way so that we can all make sure that we're on the same page about what posture is, because posture as it relates to singing is really important, right? So you can see there's all these different versions of like not great posture. You can be too far back, you can have your back swayed, you can be collapsed, you can have your head way far forward. So we're just going to go over what good posture is, and we'll go over that all together. So I want everyone to take your hand and put one hand just underneath your collarbone, and then take your free hand and put that on the top part of your spine up here. And I just want you to collapse over. And when you collapse over, notice that this top part of your spine collapses. And then just lift up through the chest like you're about to do a back bend, like up, lifting through the chest. And you'll notice that as you lift your chest, this part of your spine straightens. We want to have this nice and lifted while we're singing, so we keep our rib cage nice and lifted, and our neck is more in line with the spine. This is really important. This is going to feel probably very strange because a lot of people sit kind of collapsed like this all the time, especially when we're at a desk or at a computer all day. So lifting up is so important. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of our song, and we're going to sing our song holding this posture. And you're going to notice how much is going to want to fall down, and you're going to keep lifting through the chest so your body stays nice and lifted. Give that a go. I'll just watch everybody. And just notice that as you're singing, the chest might want to fall, and you're going to keep having to say, stay up, stay up. Yeah, notice that this part of your chest might want to collapse and say, ooh! It's going to have to stay up. Good. Now we're going to talk about posture's best friend, which is breathing. So I want everyone to take your hands and create two L shapes like this. And then you're going to take your fingers and you're going to put them in underneath your rib cage. So you feel ribs above, the bones above, and then muscles just below that, okay? And you're going to take a big breath in and you're going to try and get as much of an expansion through there as you can. So big breath in, expand. And now you're going to take your free hand. I want you to put your thumb on your belly button, and those muscles just underneath your belly button, you're going to pull in on them as you exhale. So we're going to be thinking about getting a big breath in and expanding through here, and then exhaling, pulling in on the belly muscles. That's how breath support works when we're singing. So if I'm going big breath in, hello, and then I pull in on my belly muscles to make sound, right? So now what we're going to do is you're going to take your song and you're going to take in a deep breath, and then while you're singing the first phrase of music, you're going to pull in on the belly muscles, and then you're going to take in a big breath, and you're going to sing the next phrase of music, pulling in on the belly muscles. Everyone give that a go. So we're thinking about our posture and our breathing at the same time. Standing nice and tall and taking in these big breaths. Pulling in on the belly muscles. And it's helpful to keep your hand on your belly muscles so that you can feel them pulling in. And it's helpful to keep that one hand on your ribs so that you can pay attention to, okay, am I taking in a deep enough breath? Am I getting that expansion through there? And then when I'm singing, oh, pulling in on the belly muscles. All right. I'm curious. Maybe one or two people could share what it felt like to be sitting nice and tall and taking those deep breaths while you were singing. How'd that impact things? Did I see any hands raised? Pam, did you raise your hand? No? Chloe?
It felt like, because in my song there's a lot of belting notes, it felt like, just like when I warmed up, like you could definitely like have a better sound with those notes than you could not have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you're singing a big belty song, you definitely need to be standing straight up and down. Because when we sit up straight, it allows our larynx, which is our voice box, to move freely in our throat, right? And if our neck is forward like this, the larynx will actually hit into the base of the tongue, and then it can get really crunchy and not so fun feeling in under there. Right? Molly, what did you notice?
I noticed that it was a lot easier than it was before. Like before I thought it was easy, but like when I had good posture, when I made sure I was supporting, it just made it so much more.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing, Molly. Awesome. Okay, let's keep going with our warm-up. So I'm just going to skip over this picture here. So we're now going to talk about a few areas in the body that cause lots of grief. So we're going to start with the tongue. The tongue causes all kinds of problems. So sometimes when you're singing, if it feels kind of tight through here, that's tongue tension. And we're going to do some exercises now to address tongue tension, right? So we want to keep in mind that moving muscles are free muscles, so we're actually going to stretch our tongue. So here's where we go back to our straw and do a different type of exercise with our straw. And I'll need a volunteer to sing along with me. Nyla, did I see you raise your hand? Nyla, you'll just have to unmute. Hi, Nyla, how are you? And Nyla.
Oh, I'm good. You?
Good. Can you move the microphone a little closer to you?
I can.
Perfect. So what we're going to do, everyone, is you're going to hold the straw like this on either side. And you have to hold on nice and tight the whole time. If you don't have a straw, a pen or a pencil or a chopstick works well too, okay? So you're going to put the straw on top of your bottom teeth like this. And then you're going to stick your tongue out over the straw. And it'll feel a big stretch. And we're going to go... And this sweet kind of floaty sound. Can I hear that, Nyla? And everyone sing along. Yeah. Good, yeah. And sit up even straighter, Nyla.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All good. It is a little bit funny, so it's okay if we laugh once in a while. Good. Now try and make the slide nice and even. All stability in the voice and control in the voice come from these slides. So, super even with the slide.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. How about I grab another volunteer? All right. Taki, I saw your hand first. Let's just jump in right there. Yeah, and do you feel how much your tongue wants to pull back? Yeah, so we want to force the tongue forward. Say, hey, you, go a little further forward. Good, and try and make that slide more even. So it's more of a slide and less of a jump. That's nice, and I like how you're holding on nice and tight to the straw with both sets of fingers. That's really good. Good, and try to keep your tongue even further forward so it's at least touching your bottom lip. I know it's really hard. Good. Now Taki's doing a really good job of keeping her posture nice and lifted, and I'm noticing a few people are kind of collapsing forward, like holding the straw like this. Bring the straw to you rather than you to the straw. So sit up nice and tall. Good. Big breath in. Really good, Taki, really good. Everyone, just a couple more. Good. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Taki. All right, I need another volunteer. Did I see Tammy's hand? No? All right. Well, if nobody's going to volunteer, Taki, let's keep going. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some jaw release exercises because the jaw and tongue can get kind of tight together. So now if you happen to have a cork with you, this is where the cork becomes really helpful. If you don't have a cork, an eraser works well, or you can bite on the knuckle of your thumb like this. On the thick part, okay? Oh. So we're going to go to our cork / thumb or whatever you have there, and we're going to go down a little bit lower, and we're going to go, with a big smile, we'll go, and for everybody watching, you'll see my tongue is right behind the cork like this. Like nice and forward in my mouth. Give that a go. Good, yeah, and try and get that slide as even as it can be. Good, yeah, sitting nice and tall, everybody. make the vowel E as in eat. Good, and same as the straw exercise. Some people are bringing their head to their thumb. Bring your thumb to your head so you're still nice and tall. Remember, we want our neck in line with the spine. Good. Big breath in. Good. And one more. Great. Now we're going to do another type of jaw release exercise. And the word is glogle. And what we want to do is we want to get our jaw and tongue moving as much as possible. So we're going to go glogle, 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 glogle. And we're moving our jaw and tongue like we have 50 pieces of gum in our mouth. I'm just going to type the word on the screen so that it's easier to follow along. Give that a go.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah, and it's a big tongue twister, so just do your best. Big breath in, everybody's sitting nice and tall.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Good, and try and move your jaw even more. That might feel like a lot of movement, but it's actually just a little bit, so really move your jaw.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
That was a little better, but I think you can move your jaw even more. Move it like a Disney cartoon version of moving, like blah, 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 blah.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah, that was nice. Do that again.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Good, and everybody's sitting nice and tall. Big breath in.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah, and keep moving your jaw. It's still a little on the small side.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah, that was better. You feel the difference there?
I'm just trying not to laugh.
Oh yeah, it's very silly. That's okay. Keep going.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
Good, and one more. Big breath in.
Glogle, 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 glogle.
And on your high note there, the jaw's actually going less closed. We want to go glogle, really open up on the top note.
Okay. Glogle, 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 glogle.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. All right, now what we're going to do, everybody, we're going to do some neck exercises just to get our neck a little bit looser, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to everyone can actually sit down for this one, okay? And you're going to take your head, jaw and tongue just hanging, and move your head over to one side. And just keep your jaw and tongue hanging open. And we'll just breathe here. And then your free hand, if you want to make this exercise a little bit more intense, you can grab onto the base of your chair, grab onto the seat, and that will make it stretch a little bit through the side of your neck and down your shoulder. And then we'll let that go. We'll bring our head over the other way. And you can take your free hand and grab the base of the chair. Just apply a little bit of pressure so that it stretches through the side of your shoulder. Just breathing here. Good. And we're going to do one last neck release exercise. We're going to take our fingers and these big set of muscles along the side of the neck, we call these the strap muscles. And we're going to take our fingers and we're just going to do this big circular motion with our jaw and tongue hanging open. So pushing our fingers in and just massaging. And if these muscles are really tight, they're going to feel kind of like concrete, like, ooh, they're not going to want to move very much. And we're just going to slowly work our way down the side of our neck, all the way down to our collarbone. So just working our way down. Just massaging these muscles. And then we'll go back up to the top and do that again. One more time. Just jaw and tongue hanging open. And then working our way down. All right. So now what I want everyone to do, so we've done our jaw, we've done our neck, we've done our tongue. We're going to go and we're going to sing through our song again. So I'm going to give everybody another 45 seconds to a minute. And just stand nice and tall, and I want you to sing through your song and notice what you notice. Think about what we've been working on so far. So posture lifted. With the jaw and tongue exercises we were just doing, you want to remember moving muscles are free muscles. So while you're singing your song, really move your mouth. It'll make a big difference. Especially if your song goes high or loud. Ready! Big open mouth. Good, I like these big open mouths I'm seeing. This is good. All right, now just for the sake of time, we'll pause there, right? I'm curious, how does everybody feel now that we've done more of a vocal warm-up? What's everyone's thoughts? Maybe raise your hand and share how things are feeling. Chloe.
Again, like, it just feels a lot better. Like, even after, like, the neck thing especially, because, like, my neck feels a lot looser and it's easier to, like, sing and stuff like that.
That's great, Chloe. That's really good things to notice. Yeah. What else? What did other people notice? Brianna.
I felt a lot less tension, especially like right here where I usually like get tensed
Yeah.
up. So it was really
Yes.
nice. Like I could like open my mouth and like move around and stuff without any tension. It was great.
That's great. Yeah, that would be tongue tension. So you want to do lots of those tongue stretches before you sing. And then while you're singing, move your jaw and tongue, just like the glogle exercise was doing, where it feels so silly. But that's actually, if you watch really great singers, like watch Whitney Houston, watch Beyonce, watch Celine Dion, watch Adam Lambert, you'll see that their mouths really move a lot, right? And that's intentional. That's a trained behavior, because for speech, we don't actually move our mouths a lot. But for singing, we want to move our mouths quite a bit. That's really good. That's a really good thing to notice. Great. Okay. Let's take a look. I'm just going to quickly just close this door here. Let's take a look now. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next part of this presentation, where we talk a little bit about performance stuff, okay? Because I know everyone's got a pretty major performance coming up, right? So I want to go over a couple of things. So who here deals with a little bit of performance anxiety sometimes? You get nervous, you worry about not doing a good job, right? So we're going to go over a couple of things that we can do, right, to make so it can feel a little bit calmer before a performance. Who here has heard of box breathing before? Show of hands. Good. Okay, a couple of people. So box breathing is a practice that actually hijacks our nervous system and takes us out of flight or fight response. So it takes us out of feeling really jittery and stressed and into a more relaxed place. In a perfect world, we want to do it for about 10 minutes, but we're going to do it for 2 minutes today, and we're going to do it together. So for box breathing, you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4. What I love about box breathing is this is something you can do when you're nervous at an audition or right before you go on stage, and no one knows you're doing it. Because lots of other relaxation practices require you to do like full yoga, and sometimes you don't, like, if you're at an audition, that's a little distracting. But this is something you can do just sitting in the chair, sitting in a car, waiting on the bus, and no one is going to know you're doing it. So I'm going to walk us through this, and we're going to all do this together. So we're going to inhale for 4. Then we're going to hold for 4. And then exhale. Hold. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. In. Hold. Exhale. Hold. In. Hold. Hold. In. Hold. And exhale. Hold. Just take a moment. And, just by a show of hands, raise your hand if you feel a little calmer. Right? That was only like 2 minutes, right? And so in a perfect world, if you do that for about 10 minutes, and the best thing is you breathe silently, nobody knows you're doing it, right? There have been times when I've done this before a performance, and it just gets me so relaxed and zen. And then I actually enjoy the performance, and I'm not going, oh my gosh, do a good job, right? Other things you could do, mindfulness practice, right? So being really conscious of your thoughts and just not accepting all your thoughts as reality and noticing, oh, I'm noticing that some of my thoughts are coming in that are making me nervous, and saying, oh, that thought that's telling me that I'm not going to do a good job, that's not a helpful thought. Right? Positive self-talk, so saying things like, oh, I've got this. And whenever you find yourself getting nervous throughout the week, just saying, you know what, I think I'm going to do a good job. Oh, I don't know if that fear is grounded in reality, right? Physical movement in performance. While you're in a performance, moving more can actually make you less nervous. So if you're feeling really nervous, just staying in one spot like this can actually make things worse, okay? And focusing on the right things, storytelling and connecting with an audience, right? Because sometimes when we're in a performance, things go poorly, right? It's not our, sometimes the voice just doesn't, as we're having an off voice day and we sing a funny note. That will happen to every singer on the planet. If you sing enough, it will happen, right? But what you want to do is focus on telling a story, connecting with the audience, and trying to move them, okay? Now, we're going to talk a little bit about microphone technique, because I know that a lot of people are kind of newish to a microphone, right? And so what you want to do is you want to hold onto the microphone, and then you want the microphone to be about 1 to 3 inches from your mouth. So if you actually take your cork, you want the microphone to just be about that far away, right? So if I have my microphone here, right? Now obviously I'm not going to use the Blue Yeti microphone when I'm performing, but if I'm about that far away, that's kind of about how far away you want to be. When you watch TV shows and they're holding the mic really far away like that, that's for dramatic effect, and those are very expensive microphones, so they can get away with holding them really far away. But for these performances, you want to be a little bit closer. The only time you want to pull it away is if you're going for a big high note or something like that, or you're being really loud. Then you might go, whoa, and pull away a little bit, right? But if you're just singing at about a normal volume, keeping the microphone nice and close to the mouth, right? So I picked two singers to sort of show you. His mic's pretty close to his mouth, and her mic is too. And these are both very loud, belty singers, right? And they are not pulling the microphone crazy far away, right? One thing to note, it can be very weird to hear yourself through a sound system for the first time. So rather than letting this panic you and make you lose focus, listen to your voice and go, oh my gosh, my voice is coming through huge speakers, and just be celebratory of that. Be excited about that. I always found it exciting to hear myself coming through lots of speakers. Okay? I wanted to go over how to pick a good song for auditions. Okay? So there's a rule with singing, and that's people know what they like and they like what they know. So you want to pick hit songs. Okay? Don't just pick your favorite songs. Do some research. Okay? So if your favorite song is a Billie Eilish song that's never been released as a single, and it was only on the album, and when you Google it, it was never a top 10 hit, and you sing it for your mom and she has no idea what the song is, it's probably not a good choice. It doesn't mean that it's not a good song and that you shouldn't sing it for fun. At a competition and at an audition, it's not a good choice, because casting people and judges, when they hear a song, they're listening, and if they know a song, they're more likely to like the song. And then if they know the song and like the song, they're more likely to like your performance. Whereas if they don't know the song that you're singing, they're probably going to spend most of the audition going, what song is this? Do I know this song? Do I like this song? And they're not really paying attention to your voice. So it's better to pick songs that are already hits. And just Google that. You can find that information on Wikipedia or Billboard.com. There's lots of information out there, okay? Number 2, make sure the song shows off your voice. So you want to make sure that the song shows off your range, low notes, high notes, right? Or that it's not showing off what your voice can't do. Sometimes people will pick songs that go a little bit too high. Hands up if you've seen somebody sing a song that was a little too high for them, right? And it's a little bit cringe, right? And you're just sitting there like, oh gosh, stressed for them the whole time. Don't be that person. Our ego says, I have to do the song in the original key, or I have to sing the highest song. We want to let that go and say, actually, I want to sound the best. Because nobody cares if you're singing higher than anybody else. They care that you sound the best. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? So think quality of sound, quality of voice, not high notes, okay? Make sure the song shows off your emotional range as a performer, right? So if the song is kind of has a lot of high notes in it, but it doesn't necessarily have any emotional meaning to you, that's going to be boring to an audience. It's sort of like watching somebody do back handsprings, right? If you've seen somebody do 10 back handsprings, if they do 10 more, you're not more impressed by the next 10. Do you know what I'm saying? You start actually getting kind of bored with it, right? So don't only pick songs for their high notes. Also be thinking about the emotional depth, like we were talking about before with Billie Eilish or Amy Winehouse or Leonard Cohen. These are people who are not great technical singers, but they can hold our attention for a long time because of the emotional storytelling part, okay? I've written here, do not sing higher or louder than pretty, right? So we talked about that a little bit already, but nope, don't do it. It will never work out. Trust me. Now, sing age-appropriate repertoire, okay? Some of the judges let me know that people brought in songs that they were singing about drugs and other things that are not appropriate for young people to be singing about, right? Now, if you don't know what your song's about, and then you actually look up the lyrics and go, oh my gosh, is that what my song is about? It's probably not appropriate for you to be singing it, okay? It's okay to sing a love song, right? But you don't want to be singing a song about getting a divorce when you're 11 years old. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit weird. So sing age-appropriate material, because otherwise the judges sit there the whole time going, I can't believe this person's singing this song, right? Number 6, avoid cultural appropriation. So there are some songs that are just not appropriate for everyone to sing. They're just appropriate for people from different groups to be singing. And so if a song uses certain language that's not appropriate for you to be using unless you belong to that cultural group, you just want to be really aware of those things, okay? Because it wouldn't be appropriate for certain people to be singing certain pieces of music. And I know you're all young people and you know about those terms, but we just want to be very conscious of that, okay? This would be specifically if you're singing if you're doing a musical theater performance, right, and you say you really like the song, "Breathe" from Lin-Manuel Miranda's. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of his musical. You guys know the one I'm talking about. Oh yeah, not Hamilton, the other one.
In the Heights.
In the Heights, in the Heights. I was like, New York Heights, Brooklyn Heights, in the Heights, right? It wouldn't be appropriate unless you are of Latinx descent. It's just not appropriate for you to sing that song. You can sing it for fun at home, but it's not good to sing at an audition or a performance, okay? Number 7, make bold performance choices. Remember, everyone is there to celebrate you and your voice and your performance. So you don't want to be boring, right? Beyonce is never boring. Be Beyonce. Don't be boring. Now, picking a good audition cut. Generally, when you're picking, because you have this 1 minute to get everyone's attention, or 2 minutes. So you want to pick a balance between the most famous part of the song and the most dramatic part of the song. And that's normally singing the first verse and and then going to the chorus and singing the chorus with the intensity of the last chorus, right? So that would be singing, if you're singing Royals by Lorde, you're singing, I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. You start there because that's the part everyone knows that line. And then you just go to the regular chorus, you sing really intensely, you give a big performance, and then everybody's rooting for you at the end, okay? Here is what makes an amazing performance. So I've done this little Venn diagram. So it has to be embodied. You have to be moving with your body, right? Because if you're just standing there really stiff, right, that's not really exciting to watch, right? You want to have an emotional connection to what you're singing, okay? Because if you're just kind of singing for the sake of showing off the voice, that gets really boring, right? It's just not very exciting. It's like watching people do back handsprings. It's exciting for 20 seconds and then it gets boring, okay? And especially, there's going to be a lot of amazing singers there. The thing that separates an amazing singer from an outstanding singer is that an amazing singer, okay, yeah, they've got a nice voice, and they've got nice high notes, but an outstanding singer is going to be one that moves us in our soul, okay? And then obviously amazing singing, but that's why you're all here, because you already have lots of skill, okay? So we want to be thinking about our emotional connection to the song, and then making sure we're doing a little bit of movement, okay? So we've talked about, in a nutshell, the voice, right? When you're on stage, you need to be thinking about the emotional journey of the song that you're singing, okay? It's too late to be thinking about technique. If you're really worried about high notes or thinking about where you need to place the sound, the song's probably a little bit too challenging and not quite ready for performance yet, okay? You want to be able to focus on the emotional connection to the singing. Otherwise, it gets kind of boring to watch somebody stand there and you can see them thinking about how they're singing. Does that make sense? So you want to be thinking about the emotional capacity. The body. You want to get your body moving, right? You don't have to be a professional dancer, but even just a little bit of a groove, right? Even if you're singing a ballad, right? Basic arm movements, point to the audience, have fun, get people waving. That can make a really big difference, and it will make you feel more relaxed on stage. Yes, Taki, moving like that, right? That's good. Chloe, I like that. Number 3, the emotion, right? Every singing choice and performance should be driven by the emotion of the song. Let me repeat that. Every singing and performance choice should be driven by the emotion of the song. So we're not just singing high notes for the sake of high notes. Why are you singing a high note? It has to come from an emotional place, right? This is called embodied singing. You want to feel it, right? People will talk about feeling it, right? You want to trust your instincts and go with that. But that also means you need to know exactly what your song is about. So you have to make sure you're ready to live your song on stage. So you need to know the words, and you need to think, what does this song mean to me? And you need to perform it with that, okay? So I'm not just going, I've never seen a diamond in the flesh, because that's boring, right? But if I go, I've never seen a diamond in the flesh, it starts sounding cooler because I'm thinking about the fact I've never seen a diamond and I'm mad about that. Do you know what I'm saying? We all agree? Yeah? Okay, talking to the judges. I've been told that there's a portion where you're going to have to talk to the judges. So you have to be ready to talk about yourself. People might say, tell me your name. How old are you? You have to be ready to say, my name is so-and-so, and this is how old I am, right? So you have to be ready to answer the following questions. Why do you love to sing? You're going to get asked that at some point. You have to have a good answer, right? It can't just be, I don't know. It's fun. Not a good answer. It fills my soul. It's my calling. It's my joy. Whatever your answer is, it just has to be thought out, okay? Why did you pick this song? You have to have a good answer, and that answer can't be, I like it, or it's pretty, or somebody else sung it at a competition and they won, so I thought maybe I'd win. Boring. Why did you pick this song? And again, I want to hear from your soul why you picked this song. A technical question somebody might ask is, who wrote this song? So be able to answer that question. It might not be the same person who sang it, right? So be able to answer that question, because that's how we give respect to the composer who wrote the song. And then, who is the original artist of this song? So if you're singing Killing Me Softly, and you say, I'm singing Killing Me Softly, and they say, oh, who's that originally by? And you say, the Fugees and Lauryn Hill. Roberta Flack, right? It's not that the Lauryn Hill version's amazing, but it's a way of just saying, oh yeah, I know something about music. I know who the original artist is, right? And a lot of times there's only one person who's done the song, but sometimes there's multiple, okay? And then, why is this song significant, right? So if you're singing a really famous song, like I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, why is that song significant, right? Well, Whitney Houston was a big star. For a long time, that was the longest running #1 hit of all time, right? The Bodyguard album was the best-selling album of all time. It was originally a song by Dolly Parton. If you have a sort of little pieces of information about why your song is important culturally or significantly, that can help as well too, okay? All right. Now, we are out of time, and the last couple slides were just in case we had a little bit of extra time, right? But I know that was a lot of information to jam in there, right? But I wanted to give those pieces of things for you because you've got a really big performance coming up. I'm going to send these slides to Miss Pilita tonight, and you're going to get this video as well so that you can review it. And if you have any questions, Miss Pilita will give you my email, and you can email me or have Mom and Dad email me, and I'll try and help and respond. But I hope you all stand up straight at your performance. Open your mouth, get it moving. That's going to help, right? And own that stage, right? Don't try and be a good singer. Try and be an amazing performer, right? Because the truth is, by the time you get on stage, it's too late to be thinking about your voice. You want to be thinking about moving that audience, getting them to fall in love with you as a performer, which goes beyond just the singing, okay? So I hope you had fun tonight. I hope you learned something, and I look forward to hearing how everybody does.
Thank you, Mr. Billy. So I know a lot of you were laughing through the weird things with your face, but I have to say, Billy is my personal vocal coach. So I wish I met him before I sang for Disney for 10 years. He would have saved me a lot of trouble while I was touring and singing at the parks. And now that I have my own band here in Las Vegas and I'm singing 3 one-hour sets every night, if I didn't do weird things with my faces and stretch my tongue and all this stuff, I would not survive. In fact, I was having a lot of trouble before I met Mr. Billy. So one thing he did for me that I recommend you're going to have his email address, is he customizes a warm-up specific to my vocal range. And I do it religiously. And it's not like a 5-minute warm-up. It's like 20 minutes or more. And it's what, if anyone wants to be a professional singer who does it all the time, you might be singing with your choir here or there, have a solo here and there, but try singing 3 one-hour sets a night or multiple shows. You cannot do it unless you say glog-glay, glog-glay and stick your tongue out. Yeah. So just the fact that you showed up for this, that tells me that you respect this craft and that you want to put in the work to be good at it. So thank you so much. I respect all of you for showing up. Please watch this back. There's a lot of great information. Please email Mr. Billy. He saved my career. I'm still using him to this day. I meet with him once a week. It's the best thing. It's the best part of my week. And watch out for emails from me. I send a lot of emails. Check your spam. I'm so sorry we keep going to your spam, but I have more advice about especially engaging the audience. Get Launched has been via Zoom for the last 2 years. This is the first time we're in front of real people. Acknowledge them. Thank them for being there. Thank them for getting in their cars and driving to a casino on the Strip and parking and walking and sitting there. Acknowledge them, thank them, be a grateful performer. And I'm so proud of all of you. If there's a lot of people on this call who didn't make it to the top 40 who are still here, you're awesome, because guess what? Now that you're part of Positively Arts, I have performance opportunities every couple weeks, every month. You're part of the family now. You're on the mailing list. So all of this stuff is very helpful. So everybody, thank Mr. Billy one more time. Look out for emails thank you for sharing this evening with us. It means
Of
a
course,
lot to
what a
all of
joy.
us.
It was so great to work with everyone and have so much fun at this performance. Remember that being a great artist is sharing your soul with the world, right? Trust that your voice will do the work and just share your soul. Move to the music, okay? Have fun. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.